So Steve, tell me a little bit about your background.
All right, started this business in 1981 as buying some rentals for my own business, and it quickly turned into buying properties to fix up and put back on the market, which we call flip today.
Right.
And then it segued into building some homes, and
Right.
since then, lots of houses and developed subdivisions, and so kind of done every aspect of the business.
And then you've kind of got back into your real first love, which is basically going into somebody's home and basically tearing down walls and rebuilding it into something really, really nice.
Therapy.
Therapy for you. Okay. So hopefully not too much scared for them, but you know, it always is a little bit when you do that. So, all right, let me ask you this. What would you say, and I realize trends in homes change all the time, and especially with HGTV now, everybody's plugged into everything. What would you say still is the most popular trend that people are bringing up and asking you about?
It seems like opening up a kitchen to a den or family room is still super popular. And believe it or not, outdoor covered patios.
Really?
Big ones.
Okay.
Not just a little patio, but a big covered one with, you know, kind of outdoor living area.
Okay, so you're basically, I would assume that you're talking about with the, I say, somewhat older plans, probably built in the 80s or 70s or whatever, where you're opening up the kitchen into the den right there.
Correct.
So would you say, you know, then they want to go in, are they replacing cabinetry and everything else, or are they just kind of using their existing cabinets, or?
Now, most of them, at that point, replace all cabinets and get the kitchen to start up.
Okay, and would you say that's the same trend in the master bathroom, probably?
Yeah, kitchens and master baths are the two most popular.
Most popular ones. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. What would you say is on the way out? Meaning, is granite still popular? Is it now going to quartz? Is it, you know, I mean, what would you say was real popular is maybe you can see coming on the way out?
Okay, I see, you know, this may pertain to a larger home, but media rooms are going away.
Okay.
Where they're just taking a main living room and making that their focal point, with the media room, you know, involved in that. Of course, when you get to the bigger houses, 7,000 square feet, they're going to have it no matter what.
So are you saying that where a lot of the homes they had, you know, they maybe thought about converting a room to a media room, they're really taking their, we'll say their main living area downstairs and really making that their media center?
Correct.
Okay, got it. All right.
I'm seeing the old world French country.
The one that was very popular.
That dark paint, heavy hand
Heavy faux and all that.
And the arches.
Right.
I see that going away.
Got it. Well, yeah. So I could see that going away too, just from when I'm showing homes. Unless it's got lots and lots of windows and it's naturally a bright look on the inside, that is definitely, you know, I think they appreciate the quality of it, but again, I think what was there, a real popular part is waning a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right, so let me ask you this. What would be potentially something that you're hearing talked about that might be the new fad before too long?
Actually, I'm seeing people wanting to either stay in their house or downsize and redo the whole house, not just a bathroom and
a bathroom in the kitchen. They're like,
they get the whole thing and redo it the way.
So kind of creating a new house back to the studs, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. I see that as trend.
Yeah, and I would say that, especially with lack of new construction and lack of inventory at the moment, for somebody that would be an alternative, which is great for you. Not so great for me, but you know, for you. But eventually, I'll get to sell it, you know, when that shifts type of situation. So, how does the age of the home factor into what you're doing? Meaning, if you're remodeling a house that's, you know, way old, or something that's, you know, say built in the 60s or 70s or 80s, or something relatively newer, meaning electrical, plumbing, you know, etc.
Well, if it's a super old house, the city gets involved, or they want to get involved, and they.
So define super old.
20s, 30s, 40s.
Okay, as in built in the 1920s, 30s, 40s.
Correct.
Okay, so in other words, something around GCU-ish, and I'm relating to the Tarrant County side more than anything else.
Correct.
Right.
Same here.
Okay.
That one needs to be taken back to the studs and rewired completely and replumbed, because it's got a 2-wire system.
Understand.
The plumbing is either cast iron or copper. So it really needs to be brought up to date.
All right, so let me ask you just a ballpark. So without getting into everything else, just if you're doing like, say, an older home near TCU that's around 2,000 square feet, just to give some, what kind of dollars alone are they talking there? Ballpark.
Whole house?
Yeah,
150.
150,000.
Yeah.
You're talking about the whole remodel or just the plumbing and the electrical?
Whole house. Everything.
Everything. No, what about just plumbing and electrical?
Oh, you're in the 35,000.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to give them an idea of kind of, what that goes into.
Yeah.
All right, and then so anything big, I would think that the newer the home, the less the challenges from a technical standpoint, maybe
Absolutely.
potentially.
Yeah, the only thing we deal with there's lots of production builders out there
Right.
now, and as we all know, they don't spend the time on the construction as a custom guy does.
Mhm.
And so we find lots of sometimes repairs from just quality of.
Yeah, and I would imagine when you're dealing with the older ones, say in the greater TCU area, again, because that seems to be the oldest area around, that is an area that has a lot of homes that sell at that age, so to speak. How much is when it's an historical on it, meaning that they've got an historical exemption or rating, so to speak, that does complicate the remodel, does it not?
Big time. If it's in the historical part, the city gets involved and it has to be put back to the exact way it was in the historical thing. I have to get the doorknobs, the doors, everything's got to be put
So
back.
would you say versus another remodel, similar age, but not, and then would it add 20%, 30%?
Oh, we probably add 50%.
Yeah. And the reason I'm asking that question is because we have some folks who are out looking at homes and they go, hey, that's great, it's in the historical district. And I've shared with them that, it can really cost them when they redo that house. And then they're limited on what they can do at a future point.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So it may sound cool and look cool, but it may be something that really can come back and bite them at a future point.
Oh, yeah, those little houses over there sometimes go for 350, 400,000, and it's 1,500 square feet. It's crazy.
So let me ask you this. What would you say in the remodeling, somebody's asking you to remodel their home, and that, where would you say that they could potentially get their biggest bang for the buck by doing it? As and I share this with folks. So they say, I'm going to remodel a home. I said, great. Let's just not plan on selling it anytime in the next couple of years because you're going to take money to recoup. But having said that, where would you say the most effective money being spent would be?
Okay. Of course, the internal inside, your kitchen is going to be your big bang.
Right.
That's a central part of the house, and everybody's going to see that.
Do you feel that you would need, if it's a somewhat newer home, would you need to do cabinets too, or do you think you can get?
No, you can just redo cabinets,
Okay.
paint, whatnot,
All right.
depending on the quality of it.
Understand?
Another big one is the curb appeal.
I was going to ask you about the outside.
Oh wow, curb
Okay.
appeal big time. Even if you have to take out all the shrubs and everything and start over.
So share with me, what are you doing on the outside? Are you adding like stone to where there was just wood, or getting rid of brick and putting stone, or whatever?
Situations, depending on the house. I just
Right.
did one where we actually had to move the front door. And the elevation changed dramatically. We put stone on it. It was a new house.
Right. And you can do that in lower price ranges and upper price ranges too, right?
Correct.
Be very effective.
Correct.
Right.
And then, of course, with that is the colors.
Right. And you're referring to the exterior colors,
In
right?
and out.
Okay. Right.
Big time. Those are big bangs.
Right. So, what would you say, the most expensive, I would imagine, would be your kitchen and your bathrooms? Would that be correct, or?
Kitchens on a typical house, 3,500 square foot.
Uh-huh.
Taking all the cabinets out and redoing.
Right.
They can, of course, depends on
Right, what they're doing.
the size of what they're doing and what they want, but they can go from 35 to 50 grand.
And if they're using the existing millwork that's in there? Closer to 25?
You can come off about 12 grand.
Okay. Just kind of, again, depending on what they're doing.
That's right.
And whether are you doing floors, or you keeping the existing floors, or
Correct.
whatever.
Bathrooms go 25 to 35.
And you're referring to the master,
Correct.
right? And the other smaller bathrooms, probably about 5 apiece?
They're set about 7.
5 and 7, okay. All right, so what would be something that's inexpensive that one could do in the remodeling process that pays benefits? Like, say, hardware on the doors, or, whatever it might be,
Floors,
Mm-hmm.
catch the attention of people, and updating the cabinets, whether it be painting and changing the doors on them.
Got it. So you can, in other words, you can use the existing cabinets that are there,
Change
put new
the
fronts on them, where it gives a whole different look to it, that
Right.
situation.
Right.
Okay. So I think what I heard you saying on the floor is obviously, you know, well, when somebody's talking to us about selling their home, and they go, hey, should I change my carpet out? And, you know, of course, besides asking the fact that do you have small kids with sippy cups? Do you like to have a glass of wine occasionally? Do you have a dog? In other words, you change it out, you might trash it right away. But I think people maybe think that flooring, unless they go really crazy on it, is a very, can be very expensive. But you can actually have it done, for lack of a better term, economically, I would think, too,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Got
probably-
flooring all over the place, price-wise. You can go super expensive, you can get in it relatively cheap.
Right, okay, all right, so, I'm nervous about somebody coming in and remodeling my house. Now, for the record, Steve did a great remodeling job in my house, but I'm talking about just in general. What would be red flags or pitfalls that somebody should look out for, you know, when they're in the process of, you know, interviewing folks, although you should call him, but, or, you know, just starting the process? What should they look for? What kind of questions should they be asking, you know, et cetera?
How long do we have for this?
We're gonna try to keep it a little bit.
The first red flag is if someone asks for money.
Up front?
Yes. I
Okay.
don't care, little, half, you got the wrong guy.
Okay,
If he doesn't have enough money to run his business.
okay,
If you take it to the next step to a roofer,
right,
roofers are transient, as we all know.
Right.
And if somebody comes to your door on that, they're gonna ask for money down, don't.
so on a side note, the roofers, you should really stick with a reputable one that's been around, that you can trace down through the Better Business Bureau reviews, et cetera. Because what a lot of people don't know is that roofers in the state of Texas are not licensed.
Correct.
You have what they refer to as a qualified roofer, but roofers are not licensed type situation, so just wanted to show that.
I
Okay.
do that by, you know, force that guy to show him your driver's license. That'll show you what state he's from.
Got
That'll
it.
scare
You're
you.
referring to the roofer guy.
To the roofer guy.
Got it.
Yeah, as
So
far
they're
as
not a storm
contract-
chaser.
That's right.
Okay.
Contractors, other than, you know, the money thing, I would ask, if you're interviewing a guy, how long they've been doing it, of course.
Mhm.
Referrals.
Mhm.
I would ask, have you done this work yourself before? Or you just
In other words, are
brand
you
new to
just a general
business?
contractor, or have you actually gone in there and done plumbing work or electrical work or
Correct.
whatever?
Do they actually know what's going on?
Right,
And just through a handful of questions, you can weed them out really fast.
I understand. So, and then, of course, in your case, you know, besides developing, like I said, you built high-end custom homes, and then obviously remodeling is kind of more of a, I say it's really a passion for you, I would say.
Yeah,
Right?
many, many years.
That's exactly, well, I know you have. So, let me ask you a question. So, the general contractors, you know, which I believe, I guess that's what you would fall under, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Licensed by the state or no?
No,
Okay, are there licensed contractors by the state?
no,
No.
no.
Okay, so your builders are not licensed either, right?
Correct.
So it's really important to do your homework.
Oh my gosh, yes.
All right. So what about insured? Meaning, do they have like casualty insurance, for lack of a better term? They have the wrong term, but you know, like that.
Yeah, general liability insurance.
Right, liability.
Right.
Correct.
Reputable ones will have that.
Okay. And would you would ask
$1 million or $2 million?
and you would ask them for proof of that? Would that be a prudent thing to do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And then check them out with the Better Business Bureau.
Better Business Bureau, and I'll tell you what, the referrals are the best. And I wouldn't rely heavily on websites, because you can make anything you want that website to look like.
Right.
So I didn't hold water.
Although all the referrals on our site, they're all correct. No, just kidding. But no, I understand where somebody could just, in theory, fabricate stuff.
That's right,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, our business is greatly driven by referral business. So, anything else that you want to kind of share in general? Or?
You know, one of the things that I see people do, if this helped out at all, they think that they might want to sell their house, so live there a long time, and they feel that they might want to dump $50,000 or $60,000 in their house to sell it, and but they're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
They're going to let somebody else. And truth be known, most people want to redo the house the way they want to redo it.
Right.
So it's kind of, I'll do the work, but it's kind of
Understood.
mind-boggling to me that I think I would sell the house as is, let you sell it,
Yep.
and let somebody else redo it to their liking.
I think that's great, because what I tell people is they share it with me, and I go, Well, if you're just doing it for the reasons you stated, I said, you're not gonna get your money back in a short period of time. And I'm referring to a year and a half, unless, you know, and again, we can get into a unusual market like we have now, where values have really gone up unexpectedly, so to speak. But in general, you can't do it. So I always say, if you're gonna be in here for 4 or 5 years and enjoy it, great, go do it, because you'll enjoy it, and then by that time, it will all pan out, you'll get your money back.
Enjoy it yourself.
Exactly right. So, all right, well, hey, we'll have Steve's information, contact in email on the YouTube and site, so you can access that along with our posting. And we appreciate Steve. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, bud.
Until next time.